All right, to continue the previous lesson, I am just sending small videos at a time. I'm just scared that if I do it all in one go, that it cannot go through WhatsApp. All right, so I'm going to continue now. We did the calculation, remember, of the terms of trade. It was export prices, index of export prices over index of import prices times 100. Now, in the example that we just did, the terms of trade decreased. Okay, it was 200 before, and then as a result of a decrease in export prices, the terms of trade decreased. All right. Now, when there's a decrease in the terms of trade, it basically means that living standards in the country will decrease. Okay, remember, living standards is measured by the amount of goods and services that people have access to. Now, we said when there's a decline in the terms of trade, like in our example, initially we had to export 100 items in order to earn enough revenue to import 200 items. When the price of exports decreased, we saw that we now had to export 125 items to earn that 100,000 Rand so that we can afford the 200 items of imports. All right, now, what it means basically is either one of two things is going to happen. When there's a decrease in the terms of trade, either we have to export more in order to import the same amount of stuff, which means because we are exporting more, less goods is available in the country. If fewer goods are available, living standards will decrease. Or we can decide we're going to export the same amount of stuff, only export 100 items. But then our earnings from exports will only be 800,000. It will not be 100,000 anymore because of the price of exports decreasing. And in that case, if we export the same amount of stuff, we will not be able to afford the same amount of imports. We will have to import less. Now, again, if we export the same amount of stuff, but we import less, regardless of what we do, less goods are going to be available in the country, so living standards will decrease. Obviously, if there's an increase in the terms of trade, the opposite is going to happen. If there's an increase in the terms of trade, that is going to mean either we are going to export the same amount of stuff and earn more, so we can afford more imports, or we are going to decrease our exports in order to afford the same amount of imports. Okay, so if we import more or we export less, the effect is going to be that more goods are available in the country and living standards will increase. All right. So what is important for you, you have to be able to do the calculation, obviously. And from the calculation, you need to be able to identify whether there was an improvement or a deterioration in the terms of trade. And from there, you need to link that. If there's a deterioration or an improvement in the terms of trade, what effect is that going to have on living standards for the people in the country? All right. Now, in South Africa, we have two different terms of trade, one that includes gold and one that doesn't. All right. You are going to just do one calculation. They're going to give you the information, and you are just going to be asked to calculate the terms of trade. But just for a short question, for example, just be aware of the fact that just like in the balance of payments, we have a trade balance. We show the gold separately because we want to see what the effect of gold is on our current account. In the terms of trade, we also want to see what is our normal terms of trade, including the gold, and then what is our terms of trade excluding the gold, so that we can see what the effect of the gold is. All right. Again, because gold is our most important earner of foreign exchange, we want to see what difference it makes if we include gold or exclude gold, that we can make a comparison.